Hey, good morning and welcome. This is Catherine Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and this is day number 4 of our series, The Promise of Today. Thank you so much for joining me. I just want to mention real quick before we get started that if you are watching by Facebook, to be sure and grant StreamYard permission to see your name. And all you have to do at the bottom of the description, and I'm not sure where it would appear, like if you are watching on your phone or on your desktop, click on the video and you'll see the description. At the very bottom of the description, that's where you like the StreamYard app, and then you can, then that way I can see your questions and comments, which are really important to me. I want to be sure and see those. If you are watching live on YouTube, welcome. And all you got to do is pop in your comment there. And please do be sure and say hello, good morning, so that I know that you're here. It helps me. I don't know if you've ever done a live stream or anything like this, but sometimes you kind of feel like hello, hello, hello out there. But even though people will watch all times of days and many days in the future, it helps to know that if you're reaching someone today. So, hi, hello, good morning. Thanks for joining. And I see you are in the Facebook group at TOC Money Mindset Mastery. If you can find um, look in the description and be sure and like the StreamYard app, I can see your name. Okay? Fantastic. Well, let's get started. We have had a beautiful week of this teaching and going deep, and really this idea of, all we really have is today, right? We have to, wherever we start, we're truly starting on today. But what we're starting to do is we actually connect all these moments, all these nows, right? We build momentum. And when we accept that all we have today, that we have this now, it makes it easier, one, to let go of mistakes, any hurts, any fears of the past, any idea you had about yourself in the past, so that you can align yourself to your future self, the version of yourself that you want to be. Of course, we build on our successes, we learn from our mistakes, but what happens a lot of times is there'll be something that happened, you'll be on a track, and there'll be an unexpected, usually unpleasant experience. And I can relate to this personally. I'm just going to tell you that I didn't realize that there had been a class that I taught that there were so many things that just went wrong in the class, even though it was a class I really loved. And the classes before that had been so successful, and there'd been so much momentum building on these classes that one time I changed up the formula, and it was not good. It fell all apart, and it was like if it could go wrong, it went wrong. I had to change the location. I had different people helping me because it was at my home instead of at a conference center. Everybody was just kind of like they just wanted to sit around and visit, and rather than like, hey, we're here to do classwork. Let's get this going. Everybody wanted to sit around and tell their story, and I felt really failed in that event. And um, it turned out it was many years before I taught that class again. In fact, it was like 5 or 6 years. I thought I had a good reason for not teaching that class. It was, oh, just timing, or now I'm not in the same situation, or my health, or there was this or that. But what was really holding me up was that failure. And I didn't realize that I had that unprocessed, that there was some unprocessed, unspoken anger I had around that. I had a lot of shame around the failure of that class because my identity was so attached to being a teacher and getting these results. And I was feeling so much pride and confidence, and I just felt like I just got knocked down, and it kind of secretly proved my worthlessness. That all of that was just, everything that happened before was not my years of dedication and hard work and building relationships and learning my craft and um, my commitment. It wasn't any of that. it was it was like, see, you fooled people for 5 years, Catherine. Now here's the truth. And it really knocked me off my peg. And then it wasn't until I could start presenting the class online again that I finally started kind of coming back into ownership. But it wasn't until I was moving forward and I had to let myself go, that was then, this is now. What am I going to choose for today? Which sounds like, of course you would. That happens in every single movie, right? There's that big fight scene, like there's the big disappointment, and the coach comes in, or that inspiring person is like, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let this define you? Is that what you're going to do? And then there's that the music swells and that decision's made, and they go, yes, I shall go on. And you watch the hero pull up their strength, and they go out and they win the day. That's what it's supposed to be like. That's what we see, right? But sometimes you get up, you get moving again, and it's not as easy as it was. And then it takes a little longer to get yourself recalibrated. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret about that before we go on. If you're a healer, a coach, a spiritual person, you have a big um, identity. A big part of your identity is that you are on a mission from God. I mean, like the Blues Brothers, right? The Blues Brothers, the whole thing was, we're on a mission from God. And that's what they told everybody. And when you're a healer, a teacher, someone who works in consciousness, and you have, you know, whatever you're doing, you feel like you're on a mission from God. And healers, teachers, coaches, conscious people harbor two secret feelings. One, that they're failing God, that somehow they're failing their mission. Even if they don't know what it is, are somehow failing their mission. Like, I always ask in my classes, like, how many people feel like they have a big purpose? How many people feel like they're on a mission? And they raise their hand. And I ask, how many people know what their mission is? And I'm telling you, it's like less than a quarter of the people will raise their hands. And then when I say, how many people feel like they're supposed to be on a mission, don't know what it is, but are pretty sure they're screwing it up, and every hand in the place will shoot up, because we have that feeling. We might not know exactly what we're supposed to be doing. We may have a vague sense, but we're pretty sure we're screwing it up. And when we have a failure, it confirms that feeling. The other feeling that healers and people in consciousness, and people in the spiritual community, but I think anyone who really wants to do good in the world and really want to make a difference, and this one's hard, but this one's true, but every healer I've talked to says this, that they feel abandoned by God. Like, hey, you gave me this job, I'm supposed to do it, I don't feel equipped, where are you? Here's, okay, I'm supposed to go do this, what the heck, right? Then what's next? How am I supposed to support myself? Who's going to listen to me? Who am I that they would listen to me? And all that starts coming up. And what it is what we're confronting is not the divine. It's not this big God outside of us. It's our big identity inside. It's our internal, what we view to be our higher, greater self. And we're feeling a disconnection from that. We feel like we received it. We're looking for signs and wonders, but it's something that we kind of got from outside of us to inside of us. When the truth is, it's an essence and a part of us that want to express in the world. And a lot of our gifts and skills and talents are born from our pain and trauma. It's and because our gifts and skills and talents, like, I'm very empathic, I'm really good at reading um, systems and rhythms and like I kind of can see the big picture of stories. Like I know what metaphor is running people's lives, but learned that very young because my house was chaotic. We were latchkey kids, and we had to, the house had to be perfect. We had to do everything a certain way, or we would get in trouble. And my parents were old school. I'm a boomer. My parents were old school, and it was, there was one summer where they said, "Listen, we're going to come home. You're going to get a whipping." And we called it whippings. It was just, it was with a belt. It was a few smacks with a belt. But this is going to happen, and then we're going to walk through the house, and we're going to see what you didn't do. Then they're going to look for something because they're just assuming that we did something bad that we should be punished for, so that because they had no other way to have control over us to make sure that we followed the rules when they weren't there. It was stupid. It was horrible. It was traumatic. But if they knew another way, they would have done it. And in their mind, they were doing it from love. My parents really and truly love us, and they believed that that's how you love. And in fact, as an adult, before my mom died, about 10, probably about, well, she's dead. This has been about 15 years. She died 10 years ago. I said, "My God, I used to be terrified of you guys coming home every day." And she's like, "Really? Why? Why would you be afraid of us coming home?" I was like, because we're in trouble. We're going to get punished, and that wasn't every day of my life, but that was a significant enough part to where that fear was instilled. So what did I learn to do? To track my environment. I had to watch my sister's behaviors. I had to learn all this type of stuff for my survival to stay safe. That's where my spiritual gift and those skills and abilities came. And then when it came time for healing, those didn't go away. They actually became enhanced. And a lot of healers and teachers come from this. And so we have this sense somewhere of that trauma could happen again, or we have to be extra good. We have to be at this extra position in life. We have to overperform, over deliver, or otherwise, God, who is really the representation of our parents, is somehow going to abandon us. Our belief about, usually what you believe about God is born in your belief about your parents, right? And so we get that mixed up. And what will happen is, if we can't live up to the ideal that we have set up so that we can be the hero of our life, hero in our family, hero in our community, a lot of people walk around feeling failed and they're not living their potential. And this is why it's really important to know how to be in the present moment and not only align yourself to that greater version of yourself that you want to be, align yourself with your own greater potential, right? What you're also doing is when you're in that position, you're not stuck in the past mentally, emotionally, or energetically. That whatever needs to get healed or resolved, because you're so present here and now, you're able to face it. You're going to be able to take the lesson and the learning. And my story about my childhood really changed. Like, there's really no steam there. I mean, it was not right. I went through a lot of anger and bitterness and a lot of hurt, and I've really invested in my healing, but that no longer drives my decisions, except in one way. I just want to make sure that anybody who's gone through that and they don't know how to release it so that they can live in their potential, I want to help them get that released and resolved. Okay. This is why, I've already gone further than I wanted to, but this is why being able to be in the moment, be here and now, and claim your day, wherever you are in your journey to right now, claim your day. This is my day. This is mine to create. I'm going to bless it. I'm going to be a blessing in it. I'm going to decide what a successful day looks like. Are there still unexpected things that happen? Yeah, life still happens. Life still happens. But at least you'll be able to face whatever happens with an open mind and open heart and the best of you ready to step forward and be in action at whatever's called upon you to do. So this is what we're looking at today. Good morning, Mr. David. Thank you, Lenora. I appreciate that. Listening to you gets my day started with more positive energy. I hope that helps. We went a little different direction, but but this is the power of being in a live broadcast. Is when I'm tuning into you, what message, what information needs to come out, and somebody needed to hear that today. So this is the lens that we're looking through. Pardon me, I'll take a little sip. I have this written in the description of today's broadcast so that you can save it. And the idea is that we're just thinking on this week. This is kind of the lens that we're looking through. And this is a really powerful skill to be able to have, something that you are contemplating and taking in and examining and allowing it to be a lens that you're looking through your own experience and to really let yourself go deeper. So I'm going to read this for the sake of the recording. The promise of today. How can you be defeated when you still have today? What could possibly keep you down? Who could dare to hold you back when the promise of a new day looms? The day that lies ahead has not yet happened, and you can make of it whatever you will. You are right here, right now, with everything you need to make this your most successful day yet. And every mistake you've ever made is now in the past. Each one has taught you something. Today is yours, free and clear, the grandest opportunity you've ever known. The disappointments and regrets that once felt like such a burden now give you the energy and desire to move ahead. Today has more than enough promise, and you can make it yours. As we look at that, as we read that, what's coming up for you? As I tell you the story about where our where my gifts initially came from. I mean, I was already an intuitive kid. I have an intuitive family, really wise women. Right? As a kid, I remember telling my mom, like, "Hey, you know, remember?" I said, "Remember this when this happened? Remember this?" And she's like, "Honey, you must have dreamed that. No, that didn't happen." And I would be so confused. And then it would happen. I'd go, "See, this is like the last time. Mom, remember? This is like just like the time before." And my mom, in telling me that I was dreaming it, I didn't realize that that's how my mom got her messages. She, to me, I felt like I was being dismissed, right? So that gave me a big sense of not being heard for a long time. It took me a while to kind of, it was going through my healing, I put that two and two together. What hadn't happened yet, if you're having some disappointments, if there's things that were a burden and it's still unsettling to you, it's an unresolved piece. It's asking. This is a part of you that's asking for understanding and clarity. It's asking for healing. And so we're going to do something a little different today in our daily one command. What comes up for you when you read this about, or I tell the story about the workshop, and it was, here it had all this success, and I had this colossal failure, and it took me so long to get over it, and there were all these good reasons not to redo the workshop, even though I loved the work and the results it got. Or when I talk about our gifts coming from our pain, or walking around with this sense that somehow we're failing our mission or that we're abandoned, in our calling. What comes up for you? Just tune into it. You may be having the memory of it. And when we think about using the one command, how can we use the one command to heal and resolve that? Well, here's the question. What did you need in that moment? When that memory comes up, what did you need? Did you need to be heard? Did you need to be encouraged? Did you need to be safe? What came up for you? What did you need? If you needed someone to love you, to hug you, what did you need? Tune into that feeling of that need. Notice how you are, as you tune into that feeling of that need, of what you needed then. Notice how you're holding it in your body physically. Are you feeling tension? Is there emotions welling up? Is there a knot in your tummy? Are you getting wiggly? Whatever it is. And just ask yourself right now, what do you need? I'm going to just make a statement and just notice what happens as we do that. So, one that's coming up is encouraged. Okay. So, the command simply is, I don't know how I get the encouragement and support that I need. I only know I now have the encouragement and support that I need, and I am fulfilled. Breathe into that. I don't know how I am safe here and now. I only know I am safe here right now, and I am fulfilled. Remember to breathe and notice just what's happening as I'm making those statements for you. I don't know how I am seen and loved. I only know I am seen. They see me. They hear me. They love me. And I am cared for now. And I am fulfilled. I'm feeling the energy already starting to move. And just right now, as you're allowing that new idea to arrive, we haven't even got into Theta yet. Just be present to that need. Keep breathing. I don't have this statement written out, but I say this all the time. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling afraid, then the statement is, there's this affirmation: my awareness of my discomfort or my awareness of my fear is not afraid. My awareness of my fear is not afraid. My awareness of my uncertainty is not uncertain. Just be present. Keep breathing. And now we're going to do something really powerful. A memory may be coming up for you. Okay? We're going to stick with it. You're going to want to save this video. Save it on YouTube. Mark it. Get over to the free community if you have not yet, where I'm gonna where I keep all of these videos so you can access it and keep it for your own. Okay, where you can download the audios. Definitely want to do that. Closing your eyes, just let yourself ground. Just feel your connection to the earth's connection to you, and any of that tension, anxious feeling, pain, sadness, maybe even fear, just let that energy start to release and be released down into the earth. As you bring your attention to your heart and you align to your purpose. And your purpose is whatever this fear has been stopping you from having, being, or doing, or this unresolved memory, this anger, this bitterness, whatever it is that's been stopping you. You're going to align to the thing that you really want to do. And just let that love in your heart become illuminated. Let that expand 360 degrees around you. Now, with your eyes closed, remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. Very softly roll your eyes up. Picture, visualize, or imagine that you are traveling up a pole of light. Excuse me. The higher you go, the faster you go. And soon you find yourself surrounded by the beautiful, velvety, black void in space. In the distance, you may see a teeny pinprick of light. Head towards the light right now. Instantly, you break through the darkness into the light of pure, open potential. Keeping your eyes up, and you're going to start with what it is that you need. So I don't know how and state what it is that you need. I don't know how I now, like if you feel afraid, I don't know how I have the courage. If you need comfort, I don't know how I am comforted. If you want to feel free of the past, I don't know how I am free of the past. I only know that I am now and I am fulfilled. And we're just going to let that go. We're going to let that expand out to an idea even greater. It serves more good in its fulfillment. And now, before you come back down into your body, what's happening right now is this download of energy, of all the resources, everything that you've ever needed in the past. And in your mind's eye, I want to invite you to witness that energy coming into that hurt, angry, fearful, whatever part of you rose up today. Just let this greater capacity to begin to meet that lesser capacity part of you. And just witness in your mind's eye everything you needed in the past, everything you need right now. Just witness that energy going into the smaller or younger version of yourself. Yeah, just witness that energy coming into you. And now feel yourself coming completely into your body. And let that download continue into you right now, right here. Because there is something that you want to do. There is something amazing that you want to create. And just be aware of that energy coming in. And as it's coming in, as this greater state of being begins to arrive, just let these old beliefs, these old emotions start to unwind, unwind, unwind. Release, let go. Beautiful. And then we're going to let the new ideas begin to rewind and integrate. Rewind, rewind, rewind. And now just do a little check in. Tune in with yourself. What are you noticing? How are you feeling now? When you think about that situation in the past that came up for you in these little stories I told today, what came up for you? And what do you know now? What is the lesson? What is the blessing? Lessons and blessings. What is that? What do you know now? Of course, you always want to make a note, keep a journal. You're going to be getting some ideas, some awareness, some other things may be coming up for you. Whatever that is, just be present to it, make a note. You don't have to do it all now. This was a big shift. And then just tune in and ask yourself, what do I need to do now? What are my next steps? Ask yourself that. When you're ready, open your eyes, stretch around. How is that? How is that? Lenora and David, I want to just tune in. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, what are you noticing now? All right. Hey, I want to just thank you so much for joining me today. Of course, this was a deeper process, but this is really how it works. There's something you want, there's something that arises in your subconscious mind or your feeling state that opposes it. And it may be a memory. You may not even realize that there's something from the past hanging you up. It may seem logical that of course you're not doing what you really want to do, but there's usually something hidden that's stopping it. And it's so easy to make that shift. And if I can be of any help to you in making that shift happen, please let me know. All you got to do is, I've got the link in the description, but also you can book a free call with me. And it goes, I call you directly. We make it really easy, and we just have a little chat about what your situation is, where you want to be, what's holding you up. We talk a little bit about your situation. And if it makes sense for both of us, then we talk about what that might look like to work together. Okay? Very easy. No obligation at all. Definitely would love to hear from you, and I want to help any way that I can. Okay? And I just want to let you know that I love you and I appreciate your time and attention. And I would love to get your feedback on today's session. So until next time, my love. Thank you, Lenora. I'm so glad this helped. This is Catherine Perry, the Big Vision Coach and Witness Your Mastery. Bye bye, everybody.